What's good with y'all, man? Happy Sunday. You already know, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that like and drop that sub, man. So, Friday I went and seen Superman. Friday I put out my spoiler-free review. I'll leave that in the description down below if you have not seen that video. Today, we're going to be talking about spoiler talk on what I liked and what I didn't like. So, if you have not seen the movie, go ahead, click on out of this unless you want to be spoiled. So I saw the movie Friday, so I'm gonna go off the top of the brain on what I liked and what I didn't like with this movie more in depth, since the spoiler free talk, we can't really talk about that much. So one thing I will say, with a lot of the trailers that came out with James Gunn's Superman, it was almost all of it was at the beginning of the film. Like, the film does start out with Superman breathing. He falls into the the Arctic. He's breathing. He's got blood coming out. Krypto comes and jumps on him like an idiot. And then engineers looking for him, but Krypto drags him to the Fortress of Solitude. Now, I do like the Fortress of Solitude. I said that in the videos over the trailers we went over. I thought the Fortress of Solitude looked good. When Superman enters the Fortress of Solitude, we get to see his parents. Excuse me. I was not really a big fan of his parents. I'm not gonna lie. I like Brad Pitt as not Brad Pitt. The dude that played in Hangover. Bradley Cooper. I like Bradley Cooper as an actor, but him and the mom, they just, I don't know. I didn't get that sense that, oh, that's Superman's parents. Like with Man of Steel, when Russell Crowe, like, I bought Russell Crowe being, Superman's dad. I didn't really buy Bradley Cooper being Superman's dad. I don't know if I'm the only one, but that's just me. So the little hologram we saw right there, I didn't buy them as his parents. And the same with his parents from Kansas. I didn't really buy them as his parents either. They just seemed like I didn't vibe with them, man. They just seemed like they were just dumb, kind of. Like, they just seemed like they were dumb in the movie. Like, they didn't really have that much knowledge. And like I said in the spoiler-free video, him and Superman and his dad has that little brief conversation, a little emotional moment, I guess you could say, while they're outside on the bench. But, I didn't really buy his parents, man. I didn't buy them either. One thing I did like with Superman, we saw some of it in the trailer, when he's holding that building, when he kind of looks like he's climbing up the building like Spider-Man, and he saves the lady. He flies up and he's just doing that Superman iconic pose in the dust, like, yeah, I did that. Yeah, I did that. I like that. That was a good little moment right there. Let's see what else we got, man. Krypto. Oh my gosh, man. This dog. First of all, Supergirl shows up at the end of the film, drunk. And the way Krypto addresses Supergirl, he jumps on her and pretty much is rough. So we see where Krypto gets the attitude or what the playfulness from. It's just stupid to me, man. It's so dumb. And then Supergirl showed up drunk. It was just weird. Maybe that's a part of the comics where Supergirl likes to drink or whatever. I just thought it was dumb. Like, come on now. Now, one thing I will say, with Supergirl's outfit, as much as I hate Superman's outfit, and my gosh, that is an ugly ass outfit, I actually thought Supergirl's outfit looked a lot better than Superman's. Like, I think the design with the skirt, and then just, well, we didn't see the full chest part. We just saw a glimpse of it because she had a jacket on. But from what I saw right there, I actually liked. Now the Superman robots, I did like them. I thought they were cool. Besides that stupid dialogue, when they're bringing Kal-El into the thing, and, oh, we have no emotions. Oh, he just looked at me. It was stupid. I like the robots. Engineer. I don't know too much about the engineer, but I actually thought she was pretty cool. The fight scenes was really dope. She has her moment where she actually downloads Superman's, message from his parents, and I'm pretty sure she had to, because the whole thing is, man, Lex Luthor got the social media to everybody to turn against Superman because of a message. Now, first of all, I want to say this, man. This movie, yeah, see, I'm jumping around. Bear with me. Engineer, she downloads this message from Superman's Fortress of Solitude. It has the message from his parents, and they pretty much flip it. The first half is just, being all nice and, Kal-El, we're sending you here, take care of these people. But then they change the second half to dominate these people and some weird message. Okay. And then everybody turns their back on Superman because they think he's evil now. Okay, so Hot Girl, I could care less about Hot Girl. I thought it was just so corny, man. And her as an actor, I actually like her as an actor. She, I'm pretty sure it's the same girl that plays in The Last of Us. I'm pretty sure. I like her as an actor. But the way she is portrayed in this movie, man, is just so stupid, man. Every time she's fighting, she's opening her mouth and screaming. And I've been seeing on social media a lot of people talking. How Zack Snyder introduces women, how James Gunn introduces women. Now, you can say what you want about Zack Snyder, but the way he introduced Wonder Woman was badass. Badass. And then we have Hot Girl just screaming, being very, very annoying. So I get where people are coming from with that. She's the most forgettable character in this movie. I could not stand Hot Girl. She has no good scenes that I like. Like, there's nothing good I could say about that character. Like, other than the actor, I like the actor, but her role in this movie is just so stupid. The screaming was just so annoying. Guy Gardner, man, he has this little funny moment with Lois Lane, and Lois Lane actually makes fun of his haircut, and I was so happy she made fun of his haircut because the haircut is just ridiculous, man. The haircut is so ugly, but she pretty much went to go, get to the Justice Gang, so they can try to save Superman and get their help to save Superman. And Guy Gardner didn't want to help, but Mr. Terrific did. And and like I said, man, I think Mr. Terrific is the standout character in this film, at least for me. And it kind of reminds me of Zack Snyder's Justice League with Cyborg. It was a Justice League movie, but if somebody made the argument that, that was a Cyborg movie, I wouldn't argue with him because it kind of did feel like a Cyborg movie with the way things were going in that movie. Which, by the way, I don't really care. It was a great movie. Zack Snyder Justice League goated, okay? Okay, so yeah, that happened. So I would say this is... Mr. Terrific was the standout in this movie. He had some pretty dope fight scenes, but the fight scene he had when they went to go find the portal to get to Superman, the music, and this is something I forgot to talk about in the spoiler-free review, the music was just so ass, man. They had rock music playing and some just weird music playing that just kind of ruined the scene for me. I think the fight scenes was dope, especially with Mr. Terrific when they went to that portal. But it was the music that threw it off for me. Mr. Terrific is a badass. I like him as a character, man. Like, I might have to do more research on him because this movie made me want more Mr. Terrific. I hope he gets his own standalone movie. Depending on how this universe goes. If this universe is still going to be built. We'll see. Time will tell. But I like Mr. Terrific. Now, when it comes to the ugly ass pocket dimensions, so somehow Lex Luthor made pocket dimensions, and in all the leaks that came out about this movie were true. You have these little monkeys in the pocket dimension, literally monkeys, typing on social media to get everybody to hate Superman. I just don't think it gets any more corny than that, man. It's just so corny. And then this movie, people talk bad about Zack Snyder, man, but I want to point the fact out that Lex Luthor's girlfriend. So you know how everybody hated the way Zack Snyder introduced Aquaman and everybody through a computer? Well, the reason how Lex gets caught in this movie is because his girlfriend loves to take selfies. By the way, she's a very forgettable character as well. She has one funny scene with Jimmy, and I like that scene. But Lex Luthor gets busted because she loves to take selfies, and she took selfies of everything. And then She sends these selfies to Jimmy, and then Jimmy sends them to Lois, and that's how Lex Luthor gets busted. So if we're gonna trash Zack Snyder because the way he introduced, you know, Aquaman and everybody, are we keeping that same energy with how, you know, some of this movie's going? Because it just doesn't. I was just like, really? That's how Lex get busted, man? Because his girlfriend was taking selfies and she... Corny. Just corny to me. It's so corny. Now, when Superman is captured, Metamorpho is down there. They're holding Metamorpho's baby hostage. And Metamorpho, you know, he has kryptonite. He can turn himself into kryptonite. He's holding Superman weak. By the way, that's how Superman got the red eyes. Because I thought he got them from the lasers, but he didn't. He got them from Metamorpho. And the scene is supposed to be serious. And by the way, I didn't talk about this in the spoiler-free review because it was hard to talk about without spoiling. Lex gets... We see the guy in the trailer, the guy that helps Superman up when he's falling from the sky. Lex brings that guy down to the pocket dimension, holding him in the thing. That's when he has the gun and he's looking like the hitman. And he's telling Superman to... I forgot what he was saying. He wanted some type of information out of Superman. I can't remember what it was. And he's holding this guy hostage, and he's pretty much playing Russian roulette. And he shoots him because Superman wouldn't give him the information. And at that moment, the scene is supposed to be serious, but I couldn't take it serious because there's just too much clownery going on. However, Superman's laying on the ground, and as Lex shot him in the head, the guy from the trailer who's helped Superman up out of the crater, you know, David, he has a tear come out his eye, and he's screaming. I bought it. I like that part. I like that part with Superman. That was a good little emotional part right there. The rest of the scene I didn't really care about because I couldn't get serious with it. But him and Metamorpho, because Metamorpho also got real emotional after that happened. I liked that scene with them too. The rest of the scene, like when it was supposed to be serious with Lex Luthor, you know, trying to hold hostage and all that, I couldn't take it serious because, well, the film just it's so hard to take serious because it's just jokey all the time. So I thought that was good. Let me see, what else am I missing out here, man? It's a whole lot. Every time I go to make one of these videos, my brain automatically goes blank every single time. Some of the fight scenes. Now, they did clean up a lot of the fight scenes, and I'm still not a fan of in the trailer where he punches the guy and his tooth flies out. Corny, Flash vibes. There's a fight scene with Ultraman, and he kicks Superman in the nuts, man. Come on, man. He kicks Superman in the nuts. I wanted to talk about this in the spoiler free, but I just couldn't. I was like, nah, I'm not going to talk about it. But he kicks Superman in the nuts, man. I was like, wow, okay. All right. It's just little things like that just kind of make this film just go, really, man? Come on, bro. By the way, are we keeping the same energy? Everybody talk trash on Zack Snyder because Zack Snyder's Superman killed Zod. Well, James Gunn's Superman kills Ultraman. Are we keeping the same energy? Are we keeping the same energy? Because this Superman does kill Ultraman, which Ultraman turns out to be David Cornswet. I know everybody was hoping it was Henry Cavill, but I'm so glad he stayed away from this, man. I did not want him getting involved with this movie. But yeah, are we keeping that same energy? We got to keep that same energy because can't be a hypocrite now, can we? Can't be a hypocrite. Let me see what else we got here, man. Man, I don't know. The interview scene with Lois and Superman / Clark when they do that interview for like 10 minutes. The way the scene started out, I actually liked. We were getting a little bit of romance between Lois and Superman and Clark. And then it turns into an interview because it was like their 3-month anniversary of dating or something like that. And, you know, it got emotional with them too because she wanted to interview him, or she was surprised that he was going to give her an interview. And then, you know, he gets all whiny and stuff. And then at the end, when he's about to walk out the door, she was like, I knew this wasn't going to work. And then he was like, what do you mean? And then, you know, if you've ever been in a relationship, you go through them hard times, you get what it's coming from. I felt that moment. I like that moment. The Superman screaming and whining and stuff, I didn't like, man. I still don't like it. I did not like it at all. But some of that interview scene I did like. Now, let's skip to, you guys remember the picture James Gunn put out where Superman was first putting on his boot and you got a big ass thing in the background? So that turns out to be a scene where Superman is pretty much taking a break, talking to Lois, drinking a cup of coffee while Danger is in the background. Now, everybody loves Superman, and this is a Superman film. When has Superman ever not helped out from people being in danger? That's what I'm trying to understand. Because yes, the Justice Gang was out there handling it, but you never know. Superman, you know, with his extra help could have ended it real quick. But he chose to have a talk with Lois, a relaxation moment. I just didn't really. I still don't like that part. I didn't like the picture. I thought it gave off negative vibes because I'm not the biggest Superman fan. But Superman is kind of like Captain America. He can't turn his back when something bad is going. And right there, he turned his back. Even though the Justice Gang was out there handling it, he still turned his back to a threat to the city. And I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. Excuse me. What else we got, man? I'm trying to think, man. At the end of the movie, we saw the TV spot where Superman is talking about strength with Lex Luthor. First of all, they find where Lex is at. Superman flies in, hits Lex, and then Lex gives this lecture like something about you're not human and all this and all that. That's where that little TV spot strength. I'm human. I wake up. I get frustrated. I can't tie my shoes. I walk down the street and go the wrong way. I'm just human as you. I make mistakes. I didn't buy it. I could not buy it. I could not buy it. I could not buy it. It didn't sound good to me. It just sounded so corny, so flake. And then the scene was supposed to be emotional. And then you got the badass Krypto running in, or not running, flying in and hitting Lex Luthor, knocking him all over the place. You know, it kind of reminded me of the scene of Avengers when Hulk picked up Loki and was just slapping him back and forth. Yeah, that's what it reminded me of. It reminded me of that. See, real Marvelish. So yeah, still didn't buy that part where Superman was talking about I'm human. Yeah, I didn't buy it. I didn't buy it. 2 post-credit scenes. The first post-credit scene is pretty much Superman and Krypto looking at the world. That's all the first post-credit scene is. Second post-credit scene is Mr. Terrific looking at the destruction of the world, because I forgot to talk about this. Like I said, we're going to be jumping all over the place. There's pretty much Lex Luthor creates a rift, like a rip in the world because of the portals. And it ripped the world apart. And that's what the big danger was at the end. So they stop that portal. And then the world comes back together. So the post-credit scene, the second post-credit scene is Superman and Mr. Terrific looking at a building that's split in half. And they're talking about how it's not even. And then Mr. Terrific is like, oh, what do you want me to do? Fix it? Or something like that. And that was the post-credit scene. And then Superman said some corny line too. What he said was so corny and cheesy and child. I was like, oh my gosh. Honestly, you don't have to stay for the 2 post-credit scenes. And I said that in the spoiler-free review. Just so stupid, man. I'm trying to think of anything else. Metamorpho. I like Metamorpho. He has some good fight scenes in the pocket dimension. I wasn't a real fan of everything that happened in the pocket dimension when Superman was being saved. he ends up in this, like, I don't even know what you call it, like a Pixar looking river, almost going into a black hole. Yeah, I wasn't a fan of that because it was just so weird. This is one of them movies to where I wish you could get more backstory on certain things, but yeah, there's clearly not enough time for a whole backstory because it's kind of hard to explain, man. Because you're kind of like, I know what James Gunn was going for. He was going for, the Saturday morning cartoonish, Superman animated series. That's kind of what he was going for, and it's kind of CW-ish too. Because you just jump right into the action. Like, the movie jumps right into the action, and then it just keeps going and going and going, which I appreciate. We don't need to hear another how Superman introduction. Just like we don't need Batman. We don't need that. All right? We know how it starts. But, like, with the pocket dimensions and stuff, and then, like, just the certain things that was going on inside of them, I wish we could, like, get a little bit more detail about all that, at least for me, because I didn't really know too much about the pocket dimensions or anything like that. So I don't really... That scene was just a little weird for me. Yeah, so pretty much, I mean, this movie is literally Lex Luthor just trying to get everybody to turn on Superman because he's an alien. We haven't seen that before. Batman v Superman. Man of Steel. He tries to get the government to turn their back. It's just certain scenes in here that's copy and paste from Man of Steel and BVS. Because Superman interfered in a war, which we know from the trailers, and he stopped people from dying, and and Lex, pretty much, he did all that. Lex was he was controlling the Baravia. I forgot what the heck that army place is called, but Lex was pretty much in control of everything, just trying to make Superman look bad, just like the BVS point did the same thing. It was getting the government and the world to turn on each other. So that's why that's one of the reasons why. Another reason why with this movie, I'm just like, my gosh, bro, give us something that we haven't seen. Like, do something different. It's literally Man of Steel combined with BVS plot point right there, especially with Lex Luthor. I think other than that, man, like I don't know. I can't think of anything else. Going on almost 27 minutes now, so I think that might cover it all. I can't think of anything else. I like the way the Daily Planet looked. I will say that. The kaiju part still corny. Lex created the kaiju, which was crazy for a distraction. Man, I think that sums it up, man. I probably missed some things that I'll probably think of later on. Like, dang, I wish I would have talked about that. But I think I covered a lot of the stuff I wanted to cover. Yeah, I think that's it. I can't think of anything else, man. See, I probably should have did this yesterday because my mind would have been more fresh. But I wanted to wait like at least a day or two. But yeah, man, it is what it is. That's what I thought about the movie. I still give it a 5 out of 10. I don't care to watch it again. I am scared for James Gunn to do Batman because y'all know I'm not a big Superman fan. My homie is right there, Batman in the background. And you better not disrespect Batman. We already had it done once, and that was with Josh Whedon. I don't ever want to see Batman play with ever again. But I think that's it for the spoiler talk for this. If I missed anything, let me know in the comments down below. Like I said, man, I'll probably... Once I end this video, I'll probably be like, oh, dang, I wish I would have talked about that. Because this movie was about 2 hours and 9 minutes long. And I just feel like I'm missing something, but I can't think of it off the top of my brain. But I think I covered most of, like, the important stuff, man. Especially when it comes to, like, the characters and stuff. But yeah, I think that sums it up, man. Well, I'll catch y'all in the next one, man. 100,000 subscribers is ground time. Let's get